I don't know. I guess I just find it inevitable. Like, there will always be people at the top, there will always be people at the bottom, and we'll have to abide by that to a certain extent. But I think the more volunteerism you have, the better.
Do you ever think people are voluntarily at the bottom?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, 100%.
So there's people that are at the bottom that know they're at the bottom, and they know if they were doing things differently, they could not be there. And they just don't want to change anything they're doing. And
I 100% agree with that. Yes.
Okay. All right, good. I want to get that out of the way because I was like, there is the top and there is the bottom, but there's also this argument that, like, no matter how much, like, the argument I always told someone, and this is, I love analogies, but like, I'm more than willing to help somebody out of a hole if they're like stopped digging this hole and they have their hand up like this and they're like, help me out. But I'm not going to reach down to try to pull somebody out of a hole that's actively still face down digging the thing deeper.
Well, that's charity, and for as much flack as you can give these corporations, a lot of them do have charitable programs. Now, yes, they get tax benefits and stuff from that,
and
whatever.
How many charities actually, how much of the money actually gets to the people that need the stuff?
Sure, but I think a big part of that is because of the same system, because it's like a legal loophole, right?
Bingo.
Yeah.
You got to pay people to do the stuff for the nonprofits.
Exactly. But that's not actually charity. It's like a face for charity.
Yeah.
But it's not the same as like opening. It's not the same as like, a bunch of business owners are like, hey, we see a lot of poverty around. We don't really like that. Maybe we should open up a soup kitchen. And then they all get together. Like, that's actual charity.
Yeah.
But no, I agree. Like, I think this is something the left does a lot. Not to like pigeonhole anyone, but like, I think a lot of leftists will view like everybody in poverty as like being that person that's like, oh, like, I just can't get there, when that's just not the case. Like, it's like with healthcare, like, you want to give everybody healthcare. It's like, okay, you want to give the person who is born with cerebral palsy, who like is in a wheelchair and like is like drooling, like they can't do anything themselves, and then the guy who like has chain smoked his whole life, he has stage 4 cancer. Like, you really think that they should get the same amount of healthcare? Like again, if you want to give the person that money, fine, but like, if you're gonna take money from me against my will and disperse it, you think that should be dispersed evenly. And a lot of people on that side, the side I will say yes. But I think it's reasonable to say, like, yeah, like, if you don't fucking take care of yourself, like, why should people be forced to help you with that?
Yeah. I remember seeing, like, the equity versus equality argument, like, a lot online, where it's just like you get one and I get one, but like the one we both got wasn't the same. Like, we brought it up earlier as well.
Sure.
But, I have a ladder to pick apples from an apple tree, and so do you, but my ladder's taller and I have a bigger bucket to put them in. Like, there's this thing where it's like, just because we both have ladders, like, and then figuring out who deserves what is also like not always easy, because like everybody makes mistakes in life, so like being somebody who might be somebody that's like a smoker, like, it's, maybe they didn't want to do this their whole life, and maybe it's just, they just got addicted and fell in with the whole routine of it all, and now they're just a pawn in this big game that is addiction. And
sure,
do they deserve not to live as much as anyone else? Like, that's a freaking crazy argument.
Yeah.